Welcome back to another Zwift race. This will be stage 3 of Get Rolling. This course is London Classique. I do like this course. It's one of the shorter circuits, so you can kind of think about it like a really long crit. But we are doing 2 laps with a super long lead-in. I forget the lead-in is actually longer than a lap. So what you'll see in the next few moments, we won't ever see again. We'll just see it for this first time, and then we'll do 2 laps on the actual Classique circuit itself. In this lead-in, we have one very short punch up to this kind of high point, and at this high point there's lots of directions you can go. So we will return to this in the loop in a different way. So we will have a different short little punch, come up to the same area, and then just kind of turn around the same way that we came from through the lead-in. So we're just approaching that upper area in a different way through the lead-in, and then we'll keep coming back to it, and then we finish on the really long mall sprint. You'll see some red pavement, and that will be our finish stretch. Alright, so this was a really big field. It claims there's over 100 people, at least that signed up. You never know if all these people actually show up and start racing. But there are supposed to be over 100 people in this field, and we're moving. I'm already using my aero boost. I'm not sure that was the most ideal place for it. I remember dropping it and being aware that then it went up to 2%, and now I'm about to go downhill. But it was what it was, and I really was struggling in this first few minutes. I mean, you can look at my data there at the bottom. It was very red for a very long time, and now I'm having to jump up to get over this hill because I know this little downhill is coming, and this is mostly men that I'm racing against, so I know they're probably going to be majority a little bit bigger than me, so they'll drop down faster. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't stuck on the back trying to pace myself back on. So hopefully this will be a good downhill. Looking good so far. I stayed near the front pretty well at this point. I'm able to actually go down into some green and blue numbers, so looking good so far, and we'll just see how this race proceeds. I actually do this race again, just apparently I was bored this week and needed something else to race. So we're gonna watch this video, and then we're gonna go do the exact same video again, and I'll probably just do like a sped up version because you don't need course analysis on the exact same course again. So enjoy the normal speed now, and then we'll come back with some faster speed replay in a little bit. Alright, still looking okay at this point. I remember the start just being really hard. If you look at the people just ahead of me, they're sitting at well over 3, sometimes over 4 watts per kilogram, just to like stay in this pack, just to kind of stay alive in this group. And I remember thinking with my steering now, I shouldn't necessarily focus on being in the front because there's so many people. So I definitely wanted to be in the front half, but sometimes to try and calm my heart rate down just a little bit and recover a little bit, I would pick a wheel and I would just stay with that wheel. And I think that helped me not feel like I just constantly had to work myself up, because most of these people right now really want to stay in the race. So they're not going to just fall off the back. They're going to try really hard to stay in there. So I was trying to do that. You can see right here, I probably should move up just a little bit because there's a little line of gap right there. So I move up a little bit during this downhill section, and I think that was probably a good call. And I know that the climb, the first little punchy climb, is coming. If you look at that little mini map on the top right, there's a right curve. The way the road goes. As soon as you take that right corner, you're going uphill. So I'm okay to sit back here just a little bit, and then I'll try and use that momentum to get a good head start on the climb. Alright, so as we're approaching this right corner, I'm trying to get myself forward. I'm upping to over 200 watts, and now I'm probably going to stand up. Yeah, if I'm going that high, I'm probably standing up. Well, maybe I was doing some seated efforts there and just waiting to see what happens. I see a lot of feathers being dropped, so I am aware that people are going to be moving pretty quickly up this hill. Alright, now I'm definitely standing up, and that should hopefully shoot me forward just a little bit. Staying on the wheels, steering, getting back into some wheels, and we're going to take this corner nicely. Alright, we've made it to this top little center area, and we'll take this right corner. Now this is going to be a part of the actual course later on, so this is how the course actually finishes. This little banner on the left, we're going to do a U-turn, come through that banner, and that is the 1K to go banner. So we're on our way to seeing the actual course, and I'm still surviving. I'm still there, trying to get some wheels, letting some guys come through and saying, I will take your draft. Steering a little bit. I was really excited to try this 180 corner that's coming up in just a second with steering. I think this is my first time to take such a sharp corner with steering capabilities, so let's see how it goes. Oh yes, very nice and tight. Cut off several places and was able to move up a few spots. I started learning that when you cut such a tight corner, Zwift is not going to put you back in, and if Zwift is controlling the steering of everyone around you, then they're probably going to stay a little bit further out. So I would start taking the corner really tight and then just swooping myself back out to receive the draft as best as possible. Alright, so I'm in this group, still alive. I'm going to be coming through the first lap relatively soon, and I just remember it being power all the time. Alright, we have reached the red pavement. I don't actually know what this is made of with material, but we all know this as the mall sprint, and it's very, very long. It's just a straight stretch. It's very flat, actually slightly downhill. You can see this negative 2%. So lots of speed, which I'm currently feeling. Everyone's going very fast at this point, and I am just surviving and hanging on. Somehow I got some really good momentum in that section though, because I just moved up a lot of places. You can see a little bit of red in my effort, so I'm wondering if I stood up for a moment there just to move myself forward and get that momentum, and it definitely paid off because now I am much more towards the front and my numbers haven't really gone above green. A little bit of yellow to just kind of stay in there, but a little bit more relaxed than that kind of like everyone's a little bit gappy in the back that I was feeling. One thing I realized I don't think I've talked about yet is when I race in a specific camera view angle. So with Zwift, you have several different camera view angles of your avatar. So there's third person, which you can see yourself. There's third person short, so you're a little bit closer on yourself. I am currently on first person, so I cannot actually see my avatar. I am seeing, the camera is my avatar. So I'm just seeing directly what's in front of me. like I'm actually biking. There's a helicopter view, so it's way up high, and you can, a lot of people do this for the team time trials. If you're a DS, it's a good view to be able to see the whole big area at one time. There's a few different camera views. There's a rear facing one so that you can see directly behind you. There's one that's pretty close up but to the side, so you can see your side angle. I guess that's a really good angle if you want to take really nice pictures of your avatar. I definitely have done that when I received my Tron bike, but I like doing this angle for racing because it's less distracting. I can just kind of see what's around me and not what I'm doing necessarily. And I also really like it for sprinting. It's helpful to just know if you're in front, you can't see anyone. So if you can't see anyone, you're in a good spot. It just feels a little bit more real for my sprinting and the way I like that. But everyone has a different idea of what they like. I definitely heard this from Nathan Guerra, that this is a good view for racing, so I've stuck with that and I've liked it ever since. So thank you, Nathan. Alright, I have received a feather from when we went through the start-finish banner, and I am positive I will be saving it for the climb, which isn't too far away now. This was a little bit of a rise, but it really never goes over 2 to 3%, so not really any point in doing it here. I've been kind of in a danger zone for a little while now, and you can see how it's just a little bit more broken up here. Now maybe it's just the graphics, the way it's working, and if I moved forward, it would be just as spread apart, but I really feel like this was not a great place to be. I'm probably not saving a ton of energy. So hopefully I move up relatively quickly. And we're going to take this left corner, and then the climb will begin just as soon as we hit the downhill. So you could see that someone had steering and really cut that corner. I remember there being like a really shortcut corner on this course that you could take. That must have been it. And I saw him do it. I was like, ooh, I'm going to do that too. So I took that shortcut, and it didn't really help me because I'm clearly feeling tired, and I am definitely gapping in this section now. So I have gapped, the climb has begun, and I need to jump on. So I'm going to drop my feather. And there goes my feather. And I will stand up and just stick with who I can at this point. I think the pace has just been really high, and I've been feeling it. So I'm just gonna stick with whoever I top this climb with, and we'll just go from there. It really spread out. There's a nice little group right there. If we can grab that group, that'll be better. I don't know if we'll ever catch the front group. I am now in 55th place, but that would be an ideal spot to be in if we can get some work going there. Alright, we're definitely trying to close this down. Here is this 180 again, so we've already seen this. This was part of the ending of the lead-in, so we're gonna swoop around this corner. Oh yeah, that's really nice. I'm enjoying that ability to turn so sharply when I want to, and then just push my way back in near the front. And I can see people definitely are trying to catch I'm probably just trying to survive at this point. But we're only 2 seconds away from this little group of 3 people. And then the next group in front of them is just 2 seconds in front of them. So lots to chase, lots to work for, never just sitting back and watching. Unless you're me and you really enjoy just drafting and letting other people chase. Cutting that corner again. Very nicely. And yeah, I've started working on getting myself back into the draft after cutting those corners like that. So it's an interesting way of doing it. It's like you get out of the draft to take a short corner and then you get back into the draft. Sometimes that's how I race crits. And I would take a better line in the corner, maybe a little bit slower, but then I would be able to get right back into the draft. So sometimes things work a little bit differently than what you plan or what you think. But so far, the steering has been very nice on this course. Alright, so I have received a draft boost for my power-up, and I know that this is going to be my last power-up, so I will not receive any more until after the race is over, because we've got 1 lap to go, and there aren't any other banners between the start-finish stretch inside this course. So I will probably use that at the finish, assuming that I don't die in this last section here. So you can see this group. This is what's really interesting about this course, is you can see forever. Not only can you see the group in front of us, in a few moments the very front group, which you can see on the mini map, is about to take that 180. They'll take the 180 and we will be able to see them going the other direction ahead of us. So lots to see. There's always a constant carrot to chase on this course, and I think that's what really makes the packs move so quickly on this course. It's a visual benefit to chasers or people who are off the front trying to stay away. They can constantly see how far is the group behind, how far is the group ahead. Alright, I think I forgot to talk about this 180 the first time around, so there's another 180. There's several 180s on this course, and look how nicely that steering put me into such a nice position. It's definitely paid off for sure. And I remember this being not too crazy. We're still definitely chasing that group in front of us. They are 7 seconds ahead. I can't tell how many people are in that group currently. I'm not far enough up to see how many people are in there, but I just saw 7 seconds at least to the last person in that group. So we're going to be moving as a pack to just see what happens for the rest of this race. We only have 2.4 miles to go. I must admit, these races go by a lot faster when you're not racing, when you're just watching it and trying to provide commentary and try to fit everything in with all my thoughts inside this 25-minute race. Alright, we're coming to this long stretch again. There's lots of long stretches on this course where it goes very, very slightly up. And we now have someone on the front that really looks like they want to connect. So, I just saw a glimpse of 6 seconds to the group ahead. So we have definitely gained. I have a feeling this is a bigger group than what's in front of us. It looks like there's about 15 to 20 of us in this pack. So lots of wheels to move forward, lots of people that are determined to try and catch. Looks like we are the 4th group on the road. There's some group already about to take on the main punchy climb in this section, and then a second group just turned left, and then we're really close to this 3rd group here. Oh, yep, 5 seconds. We are hunting them down. Some poor soul used his feather a little bit too early. It just finished up. I don't think it was worth using the feather back there because it never goes over 3% and it's really short. This is where a feather is the most helpful on this course. You'll see we're going to go downhill. I'm in a much better position this time, by the way, for going downhill with the pack. I'm right there. I'm right at the front. We're going to go downhill, and I believe we're going to hit 7%, so a much better place to use a feather. This guy is dropping his feather, probably at the best moment. Oh, yep, there's more feathers. If you drop the feather right before it starts going uphill, and then you really punch it, I think it will finish just right. Alright, I remember this. I remember being like, we're going to close this, let's go. And I stand up, and I hit the red and be punchy like I want, and there we are. I have a connection. I have connected to the group that was ahead and am now in the front of that group in a really nice place. We're just going to use that speed and momentum. I'm going to steer myself to a wheel, and there we go. I remember being most pleased about that move and being quite happy that it felt relatively easy to close it down. Just that short little burst created so much more speed than what everyone else in front of us had, and it looks like several people from my group are going to latch on like I did, and we've got a nice string going as we approach this last time around the 180 and coming to the 1K banner to go. Definitely felt like I got the hang of that corner that last time, especially you could see I really cut it, and then I pretty quickly moved back out right to grab the wheels that were turning around me. So that was really good to see definite improvement in that same corner each time. Alright, we got people moving. We are almost there, half a mile to go, and I'm going to make sure that I don't get any further back than this. This is about as far back in a pack this big that I want to be. So I'm going to stay around 5th, 6th wheel and wait for someone to go. And we'll see how it goes. I'm probably going to drop my power up right about now. Let's see. Oh, yep, there we go. Power up down. This is a long sprint, but I want to use it now because I'm probably going to want to go ahead and go. And I don't want to wait behind someone. So I'm using it now to save my energy while I still have some drafts. Wait for someone to go. Oftentimes when I see someone hit red or an avatar stand up like that guy's did. And then when I get to the front, you just have to go. And there I go. You have to commit right away. Hitting some nice numbers. And we're just going to finish it up nice and strong. Awesome. That was good. I think with this big of a field, quite pleased with how this race went. 3 watts per kilogram, 196 watts. That's pretty good for me for 25 minutes. Yep, 25 minutes. So good race. I know my husband did this race. He did the B race and was somewhere. I'll have to look up his results. Maybe I'll include a picture of that at the finish. But thanks again for watching, and I will have this race again in fast motion in just a little bit.